Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Today, woo, it's a very, very, very special day, special day, special day. You know, today is well, they're late today. It's the 220th episode of the In Your Face show. And I'm here with my main man, you know what I'm saying? The brother man, you know what I'm saying? He's a rapper, he's a legend in the streets, in the Christian game, in the spotlight. In the spotlight in the house. His name is Mr. AKA Ivey Hisson, Mr. AKA Mr. Ivey Conerly. What up, Mr. Brother, my brother?
What's up? What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing awesome, brother. Awesome, brother. You know what I'm saying? How's your day going?
Going pretty good. Going pretty good, man. I appreciate the intro in the background, but I'm just someone that's low key trying to trying to just get in where I fit in this life. You know what I mean? Like when we spoke earlier, just trying to clock in into this world, do my business, to clock out and go home. You know?
Hey, man, you know, we all got that feeling, man. We all got that feeling. I feel you, brother. I feel you. I understand. You know what I mean?
That's
It
right.
gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. You feel me? You know?
Yes, sir.
So, man, so how's life going for you? How's things going in the, you know what I mean, being in the industry, I should say.
Well, by the grace of God, man, I mean, things are always great. Trusting Him in every single process that He lays in front of me, man. Obviously, not in doing anything by accident. The scriptures tell us that if we will just acknowledge Him, and that word acknowledge in the scriptures is submit to Him in all of our ways, then He will direct our path. So, by the grace of God, I want to submit to Him. So, whatever path that I'm on, in
Mm-hmm.
in this quote unquote industry, in this world, in my level of influence, this sphere, then it's supposed to go according to plan, his plan, as long as I submit to him. So all is well. If it's not well, then that means I'm out of his will. So yeah.
I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. So, you know what I'm saying? So, talk to me about that, man, how God has blessed you in this game, man. Like, what was it like doing your first album?
Man, my first album, you talking about secular or Christian? Or just
We
first
could talk.
album? Just
We,
first
we, could,
album, period?
we could talk about Christian first, and then we could talk about the secular part. How about that?
Yeah. So the first album that I done when I was a Christian, I mean, without without conviction, I could say, or with conviction, I could say rather, it would probably be the election album. That's when I really got sound in the faith. Other albums I had was like more positive. It was on that Christian tip. But that album was it was a blessing to do. It was bittersweet because I knew I was gonna say some controversial things. And so by the grace of God, man, I said those things nonetheless and took my licks and still stand on many of it today, for as standing on what I said. It would what I believe that that God was actually prompting me to do at that time. Some of the things that I said, I probably would say it differently because it's been, man, a while ago. I mean, many years ago now. Um, since I put out certain albums. However, in that particular album, Election, it actually refined me and just made me kind of like the person that I am today with looking back at it and what it's done. You know what I mean? With other people like in my family, friends, and whatnot. Even in my own walk, man, it really has allowed me to just stand firm for the faith. Now, secular, man, it was always a joy to do music. It was more like idolatry back then. I mean, my cousin used to rap, and so I was rapping before I really knew that she was really on like that. When she got on with the Dog Pound with Snoop and them, my cousin South Central, is when I really started to even go harder in the paint. And so, um, I loved it from the age 13 and up, man. I was creating music, banging out songs after songs. I think when I was 13, I already had like a enough songs to create an album. So I have a gang of songs. My first secular album, I really don't, man, I really don't remember even the name of it, but I do know the recording process was always fascinating. You know, I mean, I love the fact that I could take the words, you know what I'm saying, that was in my imagination, jot them down on paper and give them out to the people. And they say, man, this is cracking, this is hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was always a trip to me, how, you know, that I could actually pin something down, you know, young me, you know what I'm saying, in this crazy world and be able to impact many. So just understanding the power of music from a young age has always been fascinating. So, you know, the processes is from, you know, for both have been exciting, but for one, it was more of approaching it with caution from the
Mhm.
spiritual side, while in the world, you know, you just in the world, so you carelessly pursue whatever it is that's on your heart. And so God used that and my attitude being nonchalant and allow me to die to myself and to the way I looked at music from an idolatrous perspective to now, you know, do what I do with, you know, with his fear upon me. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So, what did it like? Did you ever get that? Was you very excited when you first did it? Like, was you very like, oh man, like doing my first album? Was you nervous?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was nervous, but my first album in the world, I mean, kind of, but I mean, not really, because you know, when you in the world, man, you in the studio, you drinking, you smoking, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got, you know, a lot of times I brought some of the homies there, like that was around my age, around my big homies and whatnot. That was more professional with it, but still, that was in the street. So it was just like more party time. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it wasn't really nerve wracking. I guess when you turn on the microphone, it could be intimidating depending on when we book time in the big studio. But a lot of times, even back then, we had equipment at the homie house, so like we would be there just recording, and it wasn't really no thing. Everybody just chilling, smoking, drinking, and so you know that was pretty much the gist of it. Now, recording for Christ was a lot more. Put it this way, I had to be a lot more thoughtful that okay, this is being said about a king, and not just any king, but the king of the world, right? And not only that, it's being said about him, but I also have to understand that what I'm saying out of my mouth has to line up with his word. And so, yeah, that could be nerve wracking, and just making sure that I just do a good job to represent him well. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Okay, okay. Do you feel like how do you feel about Christian music as a whole getting its due like it is now? But back then, Christian music wasn't like as popular or prevalent like it is now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, in many ways, it's great. I love the fact that you have a lot of artists making music and they want to make music to the glory of God, which is always great. The unfortunate aspect of it is you have too many artists that have not submitted to local ministries. And even if they have submitted to local ministries, it's not sound local ministries. I mean, of course, it's not healthy. And when you have ministries that's not healthy with a bunch of people that want to do something for God, you oftentimes get an unhealthy outcome. And so I believe that the music industry, especially the Christian music industry, is oversaturated with a bunch of babes, immature, undiscipled, undisciplined, novice and charlatans at best that saw or see rather that this is a quick way to get a buck, quick way to get a name. I can't speak for the intentions and motives for everybody, but a lot of them see it because obviously you see the outcome of a lot of these guys. They really don't have true accountability. In the moment that you point stuff out to them like that, then you are considered a hater, or you're just jealous because your reach isn't as impactful, whatever the case may be. But it's good in a way that, man, we got more people rapping about Christ.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
bad. But it's bad in the sense that we don't have the right kind of people representing Christ and rapping about Christ or singing about Christ in this gospel industry. And I could say that from the rap, Christian rap, hip hop side to the more of like traditional style to contemporary style. I mean, how many scandals do we have to see over and over and over and over? There's too many scandals because there's too many people that are, I mean, presumptuously saying that they're believers when they indeed are not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm listening. I'm listening. Go ahead.
No, no, that was it. That was it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, you know, do you ever feel like, when do you ever have had like a writer's block? You ever had one of those before?
Of course, man, I'm a writer, so I've had tons of those. I had
Yeah,
tons of those throughout my life. Yeah,
yeah, man. I get those all the time when I'm writing my poetry or when I'm just writing to God or whatever. I get those writer blocks, man. I'm like, it's right in my head, but then I'm like, darn it, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, man. But then it'll come right back to me like, okay, got
right,
it. You know what I'm
right,
saying? It'll come back to you when you're not even thinking about it. You
right,
know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So, have you ever felt like, do you ever put your, like, what you've been through in your music? Like, do you want people to, through your music, do you want people to feel you, feel what you've been through, like feel the trauma you went through as a child or whatever you've been through? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Whatever you've been through, do you want them to feel your music, like in the music that you do?
absolutely. I mean, I believe no matter what, we can't hide who we are. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
can't even hide. I mean, we could try to put makeup on open wounds or after wounds are, I mean, it's healed and whatnot on scabs. We could try to dress things up, but it's still there. And that's why, I mean, you got people with certain injuries that even though you may not see it on the surface, you touch it or you've been it a certain way, it's like, because it's still there. You've been impacted, right? And it's the same way for even some of the mental and some of the emotional trauma that we've all been through as human beings. That's hard to hide. So of course, man, I always want to be able to put that in my music to be transparent, to let other believers know that you can have my kind of a background and still make it, right? You know what I'm saying? You can actually live in this world and go through this, and go through the, I mean, healing of various wounds, and you still be victorious because look at the one who's healed you. And a lot of times, a lot of the things that I went through was from brokenness, was from sin, was whether that be from past trauma from my parents' experience to them, doing the best they can with us. Which shout out to my mom and dad, which is the awesome people that have done the best they could. But 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 you can't shelter anybody away from experiencing certain traumas that's going to happen in life. And so I chose to jump off the porch, so to speak, and I chose to be in the world. And being in those kind of environments and putting myself out there like that caused me to go through a lot of unnecessary things. But in the final analysis, it was necessary for me to be who I am to this day. God used those things so I can pin it a certain way. And yeah, I want people to hear it. I want people to feel it. I want people to connect with it so they can see who I'm pointing to. That though this have been, or this was my reality, these things that I actually went through, it's just that what I went through. Look at me now, that's an overcomer, as the scriptures say, more than a conqueror. And so with
Mm-hmm.
that being said, yeah, man, I definitely want to make sure that everybody see it. And that's the fascinating thing about this word right here. This word, we've got men, women that got scars, so to speak. That I mean, you can see the times where, man, they needed a shower after a hot day. You know what I mean? And you could see how they snapped on each other and whatnot, and how um, there was all kinds of sin to address in the local church in the New Testament and whatnot. Even with Israel, before there was even a New Testament, how God dealt with the Israelites because they were always running after pagan gods and whatnot and idolatry every time that God turned around. And they were so much involved with the pagan practices of the world, and going through real stuff. Some of them have went through traumatic incidences and whatnot that God corrected, but yet, we still see these people's traumatic experiences, and then we learn from that to this day. So, yeah, I think the best thing to ever do is to make sure that you keep it 100% with the people that's listening to your music or your sermons or whatever it is that God is giving you and working through you, to be transparent to the point to where you can actually make an impact, with your hearer.
Okay. Okay. So, how many years have you been doing music?
Man, this year I've been doing music for about 30 years. I think this will make the 30-year mark.
What's
Yes.
up, David? What up, brother?
1995.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm young as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was like 5 years old during that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
But
Ah,
I've been doing music for a minute.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I
Yeah.
mean, shit. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You've been doing you do, and that's something that it's just like I've been doing comics for going on 21 years now, and so I could truly understand what you're talking about. And basically, writing and doing music is like, being an artist, being a comic artist. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in the lab 24 hours a day, honing your craft, but you also got to live life and use your situations that you've been through
Right.
to put music out. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
To put music out, because without being with those situations in your life, without going through those situations, you wouldn't have music. You know what I'm saying? Because a
Right.
lot of people use their situations that they go through to formulate and use their trauma and all the pain and suffering that they went through to build that music. You know what I'm saying? Luther Vandross wouldn't be Luther. You know what I'm saying? The Temptations would be the Temptations if they didn't talk about their girl or talk about Big, and Keith Sweat wouldn't be him. Wouldn't be Keith Sweat if he wasn't. We wouldn't have the music that he has if he wasn't dealing with females begging. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's like you have to put your situations you go through in your work, because whether you know it or not, those become the biggest masterpieces.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
One thing God always taught me was the little blessings are the biggest masterpieces, because you could paint it, you could add more stuff to it, but with the big blessings, those are just like, they're not the final piece.
Yeah.
Those are a piece to that small blessing, to turn that small blessing into an even bigger blessing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's basically the big blessing is a connection to the mansion that he already has for you. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? The mansion basically is the foundation. You know what I'm saying? The big blessing is just a connection. You know what I'm saying? But the small
Yeah.
blessing is that mansion that
Yeah.
can be added on to that. You know what I'm saying? That can
Right.
be added, can be built even bigger with that big blessing. You know what I mean?
Right. Facts.
Have you ever, ever, have you ever got a blessing that was so big, but it didn't last very long? Like, it didn't last as, like, what I mean by that is like this. Like for example, like I'm doing a show, right? And I get a big celebrity on the show, right? And it didn't last as long. It didn't last like okay, but the small it didn't last that long because it maybe you may get like your shows may be like an hour long, a half an hour, hour and a half, right? But with the big celebrities, they so busy, you know what I'm saying? They give you like a 15 minutes or maybe 30 minutes to show, maybe 30-minute show, right?
Right,
That's a big blessing. They don't last very long. But the small blessings, they last longer
right,
than they last long and they last and they grow fast, grow more, you know what I'm saying? And they stick with you long more than anything. You know what I'm saying? More than the big blessings.
right,
You see
right.
what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, yeah. In that case, yeah, then yeah, I definitely have experienced that. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's why I was like, because I've been through a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's like, so I understand what you're talking about when when it comes to your music. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to put in, you have to make people feel. You have to move the people with your music. You just like you have to move the people with your writing. You have to move the people with your singing. You know what I'm saying?
right, right. Facts, facts.
You know what
Amen,
I mean? You
amen.
got you got a couple of comments here. Outsiders brand. I've Ivy Conerly is a real one. How about the active
Salute.
merch? How about that active merch? What do you think? Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody. Yeah,
it's
active merch.
well, we got active merch on for activechristians.com, which is www.iv, which is the row number 4, and then active Christian, active Christians, Christians.com. So it's just like IV activechristians.com. So it's for activechristians.com. Yeah.
Active curriculum. New
Yeah.
project. He said any new projects dropping.
Yeah. We're always making music. We just dropped the P31 Hog Mob on Valentine's Day featuring myself, Bazooka, and I don't know if there was any other rappers on there. Um, but my personal stuff, yeah, I got a gang of, I got almost enough for about an album, but I'm not gonna put out another album. I got singles that I'm getting ready to drop and like kind of small EPs, 2 to 3 songs, maybe 4 songs at a time that I'm gonna be releasing. I don't know what that looks like for this year, but expect a lot of music this year though from me. Absolutely.
Okay, okay. Uh, P4MH tour coming up.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, to pray for my hood. That's pray. That's that's yeah.
Pray for.
Acronym.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Acronym
had to
for pray
read
for
that
my hood.
right, read
Yeah,
that the right way. Okay,
yeah,
okay. Active curriculum.
yeah.
100. Okay, okay, okay. So you got some fans, great fans out there, man. I can't wait to get to that. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to show up and show out for the fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
That's a
active.
blessing.
Active. I mean, we're not active, but Outsiders Ministries. Those are my brothers right there. I mean, we partnered together, man. Shout out to the homie Vince and everybody in Outsiders and whatnot. They're doing great things in the city of Oxnard. So, yeah, that's definitely brothers right there, man. So, yeah,
Okay, okay, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, if you want to come on the show, brother, you more than welcome to come and promote your projects and everything. You know what I'm saying? Outsiders. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all in the popping. You never. Well, let's come inbox me and we'll set it up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So back to you, my brother. So being a rapper, right? Being a Christian rapper, you know what I'm saying? Do you prefer to be a Christian rapper or do you prefer to just be a rapper?
Well, by the grace of God, man, I mean, I am a rapper, and since I'm a Christian, that makes me a Christian rapper. Whether people want to call me a Christian rapper, that's fine. They would actually be correct in doing so. If they want to call me a rapper, that's fine because they'd be correct in doing so as well. And the reason why I say that is because so I'm sitting in my office, right? And my office is a Christian office because because I'm in it. Uh, and because all the elements came from Christ. I'm talking about the wood, the sheetrock or the drywall, all the mud to actually block the seams and with the tapes and the carpet and all that came from Christ. So it's really a Christian world. It's just that there's people that lie about it, right? So there's nothing wrong with rapping. There's something wrong with um lying about the glory of God in your music. So when you
Right,
rap
right, right.
about, even if you're really doing these activities, if you're rapping about murder, if you're rapping about fornicating, knocking females down left and right, for what I'm saying, getting motel rooms, getting high, getting drunk, that's lying about the glory of God. Since we're made in His image in the Imago Dei, then we are commanded not to live like that in this world, right? We are called as the believers now to be called out, to be the church ecclesia, called out of that world system into the real world that God reconciled to Himself. So the scriptures say that God was in Christ reconciling the world unto Himself, not imputing their trespasses upon them, but He's also given us the ministry of reconciliation, in which we implore the world to be reconciled. So music is reconciled to God. The arts, paint, whether you're a painter or whether you into sculpting and all of that is reconciled to God. When it comes to these podcasts and, doing interviews and things like that, the content, all this stuff should be about the glory of God. Now, does it have to have crosses, and does it have to say or spell out the life, death, burial, resurrection of Jesus? No, the Son spells that out for us. The trees outside, general revelation reveals to us the awesome work of Christ, right? As Isaiah say, the whole world or the whole earth is full of His glory. So I say all that to say, yeah, I'm definitely a rapper, and I'm a Christian rapper too. I drive a Christian car too, but I don't always say I drive a Christian car. It's just that it's a car. So I'm a rapper. I just don't lie about
I
reality. I
feel
don't
you.
lie
Right.
about Christ.
I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. So, so man, what I'm saying. So, how many years, do you feel like, do you feel like, man, there are a lot of rappers out there that you feel like, you can mentor and really teach out there that the better way to do things?
Yeah, I mean, man, like I said earlier, there are several. There are several, especially Christian rappers, regular rappers too. All of them. Even the Christian rappers are lying about Christ. Secular rappers are indeed lying about Christ. You do have some secular rappers that are okay. They're not actually speaking, I would say, blasphemous words. They could be okay with God. Secular rappers. Now, these are rappers that are not going against the very word of God. You have some Christian rappers that are doing the same. As long as they don't lie about who God says He is, then they can rap. I mean, they could rap about whatever. I mean, their relationship with their, bride. They could rap about food or whatever. Whatever the fact that that God created them, they can give Him glory without explicitly saying Jesus all the time in their music, and I'm okay with that. Um, they need to be mentored. For as most rappers, they need to be mentored when it comes to paying attention to their craft, who they're doing it for, right? Who are they pointing to? Who are they pointing their listeners to? Because most of these guys are pointing to themselves, or they're pointing their audience, their listeners, to themselves. Many people want glory for giving God glory, or they want glory for themselves outside of God, right? And so what we need to always call the people to is an honest assessment of reality. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so we definitely need to make sure we up on that, man, when it comes to mentoring the the secular world for those that need it, and especially our brothers in CHH, the ones that's needed, which is more than a few, I can tell you that much.
So, what I'm saying. So, being a rapper growing up, what I'm saying. who are some of the rappers that you looked up to that really helped you, that really shaped the way you rap, shaped your style, shaped the rapper you are today?
Well, in the world, man, when I was in the world, I was influenced, of course. I mean, my cousin came out, and man, um, she really was like the major influence when it came, to me actually pursuing this as a career or as a lifestyle. Right now, um, when it comes to other artists besides like my cousin, I never really wanted to get my style from my cousin like that. My big brother, matter of fact, David, I don't know if he's on, but anyway, my big brother actually played a lot of rap music in the late '80s, early '90s. Man, that's all we would listen to. So I mean, I love the Kumo D's. I love the NWAs. I just love the fact that they was just killing it over these crazy beats. You know what I'm saying? And so when I started to rap, though, my influences was, man, I loved Tupac. I loved Devin the Dude. Devin the Dude was one of my favorite artists, man, especially when I was like 15, 16. I loved his like lackadaisical type of approach, nonchalant on the microphone, just kind of player style. I was in my little player phase for a while too. So I really, really loved his music as well. Um, I bumped DMX too, but he wasn't like the top. I would say Brother Lynch Hung was one that I really, really loved for, when it came to artistry, the way his pen game was. Um, a lot of West Coast legends, of course. I was influenced a little bit by like Snoop, um, stuff with Battle Cat production on it, Black Tobin production on it. Just that heavy West Coast, true G Funk, Dog Pound, you know what I'm saying? That kind of era is what I gravitated to, and the sound that I definitely wanted and whatnot, and which I did achieve it. And I was able to work with some of these guys as well, some of the ones that I actually looked up to in the music industry. So, yeah, I would say that.
Okay, okay. Who is the ones that encourages you every day and basically just inspire you every day to just keep going?
As far as artists,
No, as far as like people that you look up to.
uh, man, I mean, uh, I've got brothers at my church within Hog Mob. Outsiders is my boy Vince is a good um, dose of what a ministry should look like. So I salute that. I look up to pretty much all my brothers that's really doing God glorifying ministry. My local pastors at our church, the elders and whatnot, which is Alex, Ace, Low, even the deacons there and whatnot. I salute anybody that's telling the truth about Christ and that's actually living in such a way where it's glorifying him and it's pointing other people to him. And then, of course, I've got others uh, like I looked up to R.C. Sproul before he passed away. He was a great theologian of our day. I still hold individuals like James White, Vodi Bakum in high regards. Doug Wilson. Doug Wilson is someone who I definitely would consider myself looking up to, who's a minister out there in Moscow, Idaho. Really gleaned a lot from his ministry. And I'll just leave it at that because I can go on forever.
So, man, you know, how many years do you feel like you still feel like, what I'm saying, you got more do you feel like you have more tread on the tires? Do you feel like you can go forever? Do you feel like, you know, what's the next stop?
Well, by the grace of God, even if I run out of tread on the tire, I know the tire owner.
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
so, so by the grace of God, man, I'm gonna keep burning rubber till he call me home. And so,
Hell yeah.
yeah, I
That's
got as many years as I got tread. And I run
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
tread until he says, come home. Work is done.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, what are some of the biggest places you've performed at?
Oh, um, shoot. I mean, what when I as a Christian or when I was in the world?
Just just a regular as a rapper, just rap doing your thing.
Yeah, so like I performed. I remember one year it was big for me. I was a teenager and I rapped at the Pier in Oceanside, Juneteenth. It was a big venue, one of the biggest venues in my time. And then in Dago too, I did shows with like Yuck Mouth, rapping Forte back in the day when he was popular. Um, and oh, man, I'm trying to wreck my brain thinking that far back. But yeah, man, we did like we did like the blue agave. We did the belly up. Belly up was a big venue in Oceanside. Um, and then as a Christian man, I don't know. I mean, I've kind of just been all over small and big venues. I can't think of much from the top of my head, but yeah, it's been a privilege for like I remember in Jacksonville, we used to do one that was pretty big for us back then, which was as starting off as Christian rappers, which is the Murray Hill Theater. Cats like KB used to perform there, Fanatic before he apostatized the faith. I met him over there too. He performed there too. So you have Reach came in town, they were performing, and us local cats would get on that ticket and rock the night as well. And yeah, man, I can't think of many more. But yeah, by the grace of God, man, we've definitely knocked down quite a few.
Oh hell yeah, man! See, it's crazy, man. You ever got to the point to where people wanted your autograph?
Yes.
Well, shit, I would be happy about that. I'm like, hey, you want my autograph?
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
I'm waiting to get to there, waiting to get to that point. You know what
well,
I'm saying?
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, you don't know a person's motive and a person's heart. When a young person asks me, a kid, then of course I give it to them. It's like I'd rather them look up to me than the Lil Wayne or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Then of course I'll do it without even really thinking. But if it's like my peer or something, I'm looking at them basically like, what can my signature do for you? It's not going to do nothing. But if you can copy it and maybe transfer it to a blank check, then you might be working with them.
Right.
But
Because that does happen.
yeah, but I mean, honestly, bro, I don't get caught up in any of those things. I don't really enjoy that kind of stuff. You know what? You know what I enjoy more than autograph, and I'm not trying to be super deep. I'm just trying to be honest. I enjoy when a compliment to me isn't can I take a picture or can I get an autograph. A compliment to me is your music points me close to the crowd. Your music is
Hell yeah.
yeah. Your music it makes me want to walk better, or I'm provoked to love Jesus because of what your ministry and what God has put in you to do. And it's like, man, I feel like mission complete because we're here as his servants and we want to be effective. So when someone
Hmm.
tells me that they have been impacted affected by the ministry that God's given me, man, I think that's a huge blessing in a real way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because at the end of the day, to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? You know, when doing this, I've been told, man, I love your show. Your show is therapeutic for me. You know what I'm saying? It allows me to be, feel better to listening to you speak, and but like I told you, this is all God. You know what I'm saying? This is like from what you're saying, man. I understand, man. I truly understand. Oh, hold up. What up, Uncle Chuck? What up with you? What up with you, man? Thank you. You know what I mean? You gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Truth be told, yes. Being able to do these type of things and impact people's lives and to be able to, point them in a direction of of living a better life for God and everything. And that's truly a blessing. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And the thing about it is that not every show or not every rapper is out there trying to push people to be better. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
'Cause
right.
not
Yeah,
everybody, not every rapper or host of a show cares about the people that they are entertaining. You see what I'm saying?
I like that. I like
And
that. Entertaining. I like that. Yeah,
entertaining. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
that's right.
Like I look at other shows. I look at other shows, and I'll be like, man, what is they doing that? What? And God always puts in my periphery
Yeah,
vision.
yeah.
I keep forgetting that word periphery. It's weird. Periphery,
Right,
like you
right,
know
right.
that word
I know what you're
periphery
saying.
vision.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect. Yeah,
Preview, yeah,
yeah,
preview
yeah.
vision, yeah.
Okay.
It's like so kind to pronounce that damn word, but perfect vision.
Yeah,
And he's like, look at the shows that's basically doing what you're doing,
yeah.
but he says, look at them, and who are they helping? They're not helping anybody. You know what I'm saying? And they're not really going anywhere. And if you really look at a lot of shows, a lot of podcasts that's out, a lot of people just want to make a quick buck. A lot of people just want to make a quick buck off of their fans or whatever. And they're
Right,
not gutting it out like guys like me or people that's just starting out without followers, without subscribers and everything. And we're just going it off the cuff. See,
right,
a lot of these people, they're starting it off of support and all that stuff. And all God always tells me, the people that is starting from the top, from the bottom, and hitting the pavement and going at it and going at it and going at it and fighting and busting their tail every day are the ones that's going to it's going always are the ones that's going to stay at the top. You know what I'm
hmm,
saying? Not everybody is meant to. He always told me. He says, the reason why I make you wait for so long is to teach you patience.
hmm.
If I give you that blessing now, you wouldn't learn nothing. You wouldn't learn nothing. You'd be like, okay, I got the blessing. You're spending on dumb stuff. You're spending the money that he's trying to give you on dumb stuff. But
Right,
if he taught you patience, you're learning about how to handle things, how to handle your money, how to save it, how to prioritize it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And he taught me, he's like, son, think about it, right? If I teach you patience, if you're sitting here, that's why it's always good to fall in love with the process. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Of being a work in progress. Fall in love with it. Because
Right,
you never know what can happen. You never know. You may get a big show and that show could turn out, you could go viral because of that show, and God could be like, there you go, that blessing that I've been having you wait for so long, now you're going viral. What you gonna do with it? So
right,
now you take that show and you go knock it out the park, right? And then you turn that thing and then you become one of the biggest rappers of all time doing it for God, right? And where do you take that influence? Where do you put that influence? Do you put it with God, or do you
yeah,
do you use that influence to influence the people in a bad way? See, a lot of people are using that influence because they don't have no guidance. They don't have nobody to guide them to teaching them how to influence the people. You know what I'm saying? They don't
yeah,
have that, and I can see that, and I can see that with a lot of podcasts. They come from the industry, so you know what I'm saying. They don't care. They care about is making the rich richer and keeping the poor poor. They don't care about the little man. And so when I built this show, God was like, okay, I want you to think of the little man. I want you to think of the people that don't get a chance, that don't have a chance to get on these big shows, that don't have a chance to go out there and perform in front of a big crowd. You know what I'm saying? But with your show, you're going. I'm going to put you in a position where you're going to open up the door for them. You're going to be the one to show up for them and be like, okay, give them some spotlight. Okay, put the spotlight on them for an hour or so. Allow them to see that, and allow them to grow in the presence of in my presence, and allow them to grow in glory of God, and allow them to show up and show out for God and everything. And the thing about it is, I learned all of that. I learned how to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But God put together my gifts to build this show. If you would have told me that I was going to be this great at doing podcasting 4 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, nah, I'm good. I was shy at the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now you tell me, you be like, what? Man, I love the spotlight. Well, look, I love doing it for God. I love doing this thing. This thing, I'm addicted to it because it's God in it. And if it wasn't for God doing this with me, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But I love it. I don't see myself doing. I love. I don't see myself giving up and quitting because I know God got my back all through it. But so that's what I'm saying with the influence thing. People who got the same gifts as us, who rapping, who doing shows like this. What do you want to do with it? What are you going to do with it? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. That point. Amen.
And the thing about it is, everybody's intentions is not it's not good. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Some people want to podcast to talk dirty about somebody, or just to yeah just to talk about, oh, yo, well, just to get in people's business and shit like that. There's a
Yeah.
lot of these shows that is basically killing people with their hate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See, people don't understand. If you hate your brother, you have hate in your heart. That's
Right.
basically murder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
basically, like, if you really want to get technical, a lot of these shows is not for you anyway. A lot of these shows is all it's doing is basically keeping you further away from your destiny.
Right.
Keep you further away from God, and all it's doing is hurting you. But see, the thing about it is, God can use the foolish things of the wicked to confound the wise. He can use those foolish things to build another rapper out of that dust of the world and pull them out and be like, okay, this is you're gonna work for me now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Yeah.
And
Facts.
see, and that's why I don't never count out the people that are in the world. I don't count out worldly rappers because anybody can change if they only if they want to change. That's the difference.
Right. 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 You're right.
People can
You got
change only if they want to change.
if they want it. You got that right. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, not God is not being represented in a way where people can understand it. He's being represented by some folks that don't even know him. They say they know him, but
Yeah.
they say they know him, but they far from him. It's far their hearts. They say they for him, but their hearts are far from him.
Right. That's what the
You know what
scripture
I'm
says.
saying? You know what I'm saying? And the fact is that he's being falsely represented. And it's just like this. God always told me. He said, people don't even some people don't have to read my word. He said they could just look at your lifestyle and see if you walking upright with me. If you walking upright for me and your life is right, then that's how they change their life. He always told me
Yeah.
that. But he
Well,
said,
yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
people.
That's a way. I would say that's a way that can introduce them to this Christ, and then once
That's right.
right, because you're absolutely right. Then once they see our lifestyle,
Exactly.
and then they're like, hey man, why you walking the way you walking? Tell them about the gospel. The Holy Spirit prick them. Then They're going to want to be hungry for this bread, for this truth. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and God always told me, He said, the reason why I don't give you the big blessings fast, because you're still see, a lot of people want that fast money.
Yeah,
They want that big blessing that God has given them,
yeah,
but are you ready for it? Are you ready to go down that path of all that hard, all that work on your desk, and you gotta go through all these shows and all that stuff? Are you ready for it?
yeah,
So He
man.
got to prepare you for it.
He
He's got to
sure
prepare
does.
you for it.
He
He got to
sure
prepare
does.
you for to carry that world on your chest, on your shoulders.
That's
Carry that
right.
cross. See, what
That's
people
right.
don't understand is that you're not only carrying the cross. See, the cross is also a blessing. Also, all the blessings that He has for you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He died so
Right.
He could bless you freely. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And people don't understand. You're carrying. When He said carry your cross, that means carry your blessings on your back.
Yeah.
Carry
Yeah.
it, because once you get old, get strong enough, I'm telling you, that's why He has people waiting for a long period of time, for
Yeah.
a while, so that they can be prepared. Because I'm telling you, if He gives you a big blessing and it's too heavy to carry, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I can't carry it." You get burned out, and you'll be like, "God, why do you? Oh, you told me to give it to you. You
Mhm.
wanted it. Why?
Right.
Why are you complaining now?
Yeah.
Oh, oh, you didn't. You didn't. Okay. Oh, now I see. You know what I'm saying? And
Right. Right.
so, for the simple fact is that God will have you waiting 20 years, 50 years, 100 years just to get to your blessing.
Yeah. He sure can.
Because
Go ahead, Terry.
if you really look at it, I'm gonna tell you something. A a year, hold on, a day is like 1,000 years to God. A million years, whatever it's called. I
Right.
know what that means, right? The definition for that is God is outside of time.
Yeah.
He's seen it. He's seen it. He did it already. He's before and after time, right?
Right.
He's outside of time as well. So 10,000. A year is like 1,000 years to him, right?
Yeah.
So if you really look at it, you know what I'm saying? He could get it to you now, or it could take a little while before you get it.
Yeah.
But it all depends on you, because you can hinder that timing by the things that you're doing or the things that you do.
Right.
And the thing about it is, and see, I learned all of this by sitting down and sitting back and watching and just letting God work on me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And hold on. Let me back up. Let me back up. Hold on, Lord. Outsiders brand said, "What must I do to be saved?" That's what he said.
Oh yeah. Oh. Oh. He asked the question.
Yeah, and he put up a pink hand and a YouTube button and uh freeze shivers and what is the gospel?
Yeah. Okay. Well, so what must a person need to be saved, or what they need to do to be saved? Well, the way that the scripture has laid it out, one has to come to the end of themselves. They have to realize that they've sinned. They've made themselves by their sin an enemy of God by default, right? And being God's enemy, of course, is not a good thing. He will settle up accounts with you on the day that you leave this place, even while you're here on the judgment. But fact of the matter is that no one benefits from dying and seeing God. They don't benefit from it in a positive way if they don't recognize someone who came to purchase them from sin. And this is a personal and exclusive way of looking at it. Christ sent his son, John 3:17, right? to this world, not to condemn it, but through him he might save it. So since we're sinners and since we need the grace of God and we need to be pardoned from our sins, Christ was able to do it, being truly God, right, in the flesh, truly man, truly God. He came and took upon the penalty for the sin that makes you an enemy of God. And he was crushed for that sin. And since he was crushed for that sin, right, the scripture says that the wages or the payment for sin is death. But since he didn't sin, it would have been impossible for the grave to claim him there. So he had to rise 2 days later, and it proved that he was God, and it proved that the Father accepted the payment of his Son on the behalf of sinful men. Now, sinful men, without the grace of God, without the gospel, the good news that Jesus Christ did, they will perish in their sin. And the wrath of God will indeed crush the sinner for all eternity. They would spend that eternal existence, their eternal existence, living underneath the weight of that punishment for all eternity because of the God that they've sinned against. Many people ask, well, why so severe? And I'll tell you why. Because it's not about just your sin and what you think is severe to you based off of the things that you've judged in this world, right, to be severe compared to other sin. It's about the one who actually understands sin in a far greater than you. It's the one who we sinned against that makes the sin so severe. And since we've sinned against a holy God who is righteous, he tells us, he commands us to repent, change our mind about our sinful behavior, about our sin, and put our trust in the sin bearer, who is none other than Jesus Christ himself. And the good news is the fact that we can be pardoned, but at the same time that he also established his kingdom in this world where he rules, reigns for all eternity, and will be here with the bride, or especially his bride be here with all eternity, before all eternity, if they put their trust in what Christ did alone, plus nothing else. And that would be the good news. That would be the gospel. And you would have to cry out to him that that could be a reality in your life. Cry out to him that maybe, too, you could be a recipient of this grace. So in America, we tend to believe that all I have to do is say the magic prayer in my heart, shake somebody's hand, get baptized, and all these other steps that I have to do in order for that to be a reality in my life. And really, it's the working of the Holy Spirit that does the work. He does the quickening. He comes to find you, and he will indeed make sure that you're regenerate if you belong to the Father. So we would spend our time. I always tell people, urge him, cry out to him that maybe you can obtain this grace as well. God says this too, that he hears certain individuals, those that are contrite in spirit with a broken heart. So I would also pray for a broken heart and pray to be contrite in spirit, because the Father hears such a one.
Oh yeah, and that's what you got to feel. You know what I'm saying? Truth is that a lot of people understand that. Truth is, a lot of people want God. They say they do. They say, but see, a lot of people say they love God, but they only
Mhm.
love the idea of being in love with God.
True. Very true. Very
They
true.
only love the
Right.
idea of being in love with God. It's like being in love, saying, I'm in love with this girl. Do you really love her? Or do you love the idea of being in love with her?
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like asking a girl, do you miss me? And if you've been doing the things to show her that you love her and care for her and all that stuff, she's not going to love you. A lot of them today or whatever, they're gonna love the things that you've done.
Yeah.
Being They're gonna love the things that you've done and love the idea of being in love with you or
Right.
loving you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
Pardon me. One sec.
Go
Hello.
ahead. Take your time. Take your time.
Hello. Well, I think I got you on my headset. Can you hear me? My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That might have been a person asking for salvation. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. And nah, to be honest with you, as a man that 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 stands with God and everything, that fights with God and everything, fights for God. Like I told you, it's been a long ride on this thing, and like I tell people, when you want a blessing, you better be ready for it. You better be ready to go through hell for it, because I'm telling you now, you're going to go through hell trying to get that blessing.
That's right.
And he's going to take you through hell to get it, because he got to prepare you for it first. It's like saying, "Oh, I want a new car," or "I want $1 million." Yeah, you're going to go through hell to get that $1 million. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to go through a learning curve just to get it. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? And that learning curve is not going to be fun. You
Absolutely.
know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you have to learn how to make that money. You have to learn how to make money out of. You have to learn how to make something out of nothing. You have to. It's like this. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Hey, really quick. And with that being said, there's other affairs I have to tend to because my time was limited. I had the 5 to 7 blocked off on the West Coast time. I know we started a little late, but that cut into the time. So um yeah, if we could wrap up, we can actually get back to it another time, Lord willing. But
Oh, no,
um
no, no, no problem, no
yeah,
problem.
but I pretty much exhausted the time for the evening. But man,
That's
it's
not a
been
problem. That's okay.
yeah, but it's been a blessing talking to you, man. And
Let me
thanks
let me let me
thanks
let
for
me.
having me too.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Let me take us out real quick so I can get you out of here.
Okay.
Thank y'all for watching. It's been well. It's been the In Your Face show with my main man, Mr. Ivey Conerly.
Salute, salute.
And we out.
Marvin.
Peace.